Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's video. I'm going to be updating you on my purchases July of 2023, so 1 year ago, and letting you know whether or not I feel like the products that I purchased a year ago were worth the purchase. I was inspired by Hope Mess Tom to do videos similar to this. They do something similar on their channel, and I always just enjoy watching their videos like this because I feel like they have such good insight and such good reflections on their own buying habits. And so I was like, you know what? I'm pretty good at making bad decisions, so maybe adding a little reflection into my routine would be good for me. So that is what we are going to be doing today. If you guys are interested, I do feel like I did pretty good in July. Like, I'm looking at these products, I'm like, okay, we found some good products last July. So if you guys are interested in hearing a little bit more, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project planning content, palette themed content, or just chit-chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. First things first, my background is different. My ADHD brain inevitably once every 4 to 6 months grasps onto the thought that my space needs to change, and I can't let go of that thought until I have changed my space. So I think there's like 3 or 4 pre-filmed videos that are going up after this video. I have like such a busy August that I am just trying to get pre-filmed so that I have videos still posting kind of when I want them to post, but there's a few videos that are going up after this video where it's like my background that was previously, so just don't be alarmed when you see that. Secondly, it's like 8 p.m. at night and my skin is so mad at me. Dewey's like, I don't know if we have like the full scope of the level of burn, but I burned today. My face is also burned, but I don't know if you can tell as much under the foundation, but my skin and my eyelids were like screaming at me when I was putting makeup on. And I will say, I've been so diligent about my SPF routine. I don't know if I'm disappointed in I'm disappointed I burnt to this level. I was reapplying sunscreen today. I really was, I promise. But I also am just happy to have a little bit of color because I'm like, I feel like for so long, I kind of want to do a get ready with me about this, but I feel like for so long, I didn't enjoy my summers because I was like so committed to like having to post. And I'm just like living summer to the fullest this summer. So you know what? The color makes me feel like I'm living a true life. So if my skin is looking a little dingy and angry, that's why. I also ordered a chair, so like my chair isn't sitting as high, so there's more things coming with the background. Really, it's just the chair difference. And right now I have my book cart in front of me. The one thing that's annoying about having my desk behind me, I'm literally rambling for the first 5 minutes of this. The one thing that is annoying about having my desk behind me is I literally currently have nothing like sitting in front of me aside from my book cart, which I grabbed, to like set products on that I'm gonna be discussing in today's video. Anyway, you guys didn't need to know that. That's just a little behind the scenes. Let's actually get into the video. Okay, I'm gonna start with the palettes that I purchased. I purchased 2 palettes last July. I purchased from Nomad the Okavango Safari palette. This is what this looks like. Really fun, grungy palette. Really fun color story. I really love this color story. My one gripe with Nomad is I feel like some of their shadows are just so firmly pressed, specifically like the zebra shade and just a couple like Nile crocodiles and roaring lions. Like, I don't know if you can tell, there's like a little bit of hard pan on those. They just feel so firmly pressed. Now I will say they perform fine on the eyes. I will also note that Nomad just doesn't make my personal favorite eyeshadow in terms of eyeshadow brands in general, but indie eyeshadow brands. But I did go on to purchase the Ghost Town palette, and if they come out with a color story that really speaks to me, I'm not saying I wouldn't purchase from them. I just think that there are definitely areas for them to improve their formulas, both mattes and shimmers alike. But I still think this is a really fun grungy color story. I'm very excited to pull this out for the fall time and do some looks with this. So do I think it was worth the purchase? I do love the outer packaging. I do like, because I'm definitely getting more and more into indie, I am glad that I have a couple of Nomad palettes in my collection, this being one of them, to kind of have as a reference point of Nomad shadows, their quality, how they kind of compare to other indie brands. And I will say this color story, as well as the Ghost Town color story, definitely speak to me more than many of the other Nomad palettes. This one is definitely more like approachable neutrals. I do still think there is something to be desired in the formula, but I am happy to have this in my collection. It hasn't gotten the most use for me, and I don't think it will continue to get the most use for me, just being that I do struggle a little bit with the formula, but I'm still glad that I purchased this. Again, if anything, just to kind of have as a reference point for other indie brands. The second palette that I purchased is not a personal regret for me, but I know that this was a bit of a polarizing product. It is the ABH Cosmos palette, and I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I really enjoyed this eyeshadow palette. The mattes, the shimmers, I really have no complaints about anything in this palette. Even the shade Galaxy, which is kind of like a matte blue with glitter in it, like glitter particles, I actually really enjoyed that as well. There was a look I did, it was kind of like a dark purpley mauve look that I used like these two shades right here. I know some people had issues with dark matter getting hard pan, but I've had no issues with anything in this palette. I created, again, that purple look I really loved. I also created kind of like this warm pink look I really loved. I created a look with the green shade in this palette that I loved, and I am just a really big fan of this one. This is something that I pulled out and I'm going to try and get some use out of in August. Again, I don't know that I'm going to be doing my makeup the most in August either. We'll see. But I really enjoyed my time with this palette and look forward to continuing to get use out of this. So for me, I think that this one was worth the purchase. And then in terms of other beauty purchases that I made in July, I made 3 single makeup purchases, and then I also purchased 1 Sephora favorite set. So we can start with the single makeup purchases that I made. I swear I've owned this for years, but I guess I've only owned it for a year. And it is the NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. I will say I haven't used this the most, but the times that I have used this concealer, I do really like it. I feel like it is really nice and serum-like. It's very thin underneath the eyes, but I do feel like it offers a good medium, light to medium coverage while still being hydrating underneath the eyes and almost adding this, like, I don't want to say dewy glow, but like healthy glow underneath the skin that doesn't like you know, some glowy concealers like really crease underneath the eyes. I don't find that I get a lot of creasing with this one. I mean, I am 33, so I do have some crinkles underneath my eyes, like naturally. Product is just going to settle there, but this doesn't look like significantly creasy and cakey underneath my eyes. I find this to be actually quite natural looking, and I really do enjoy this for the times that I have used it. Again, I haven't used this the most. I'm currently trying to get through a different NYX concealer, and then I'll really be down to 4 concealers, and I enjoy having this in my collection and look forward to using that one more. So I will say, I think that one was worth it. I don't necessarily know maybe that I needed to purchase it at the time just because it hasn't gotten the most use out of me. Like maybe if I wanted to try it, I could have waited a little bit longer, but I'm not mad to have that in my collection. This was hands down one of the best purchases I feel like I made last year in 2023. This is the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder. I just purchased mine in the mini, and I specifically purchased Viola Rosé, which has a little bit of a pink tint to it. And this is something when I finish this mini, I absolutely will purchase in a full size. It is by far my favorite loose setting powder. I love it underneath the eyes. I feel like it is very blurring. It is mattifying underneath the eyes, but it doesn't make me feel like I look like a corpse underneath my eyes. And actually, in fact, yesterday I was out in the blazing sun and wanted my makeup to last all day, and I used this to set all over my face, and I really liked it for setting all over my face as well. So I'm so happy that I purchased this. I've said before, I said in my declutter, I think that if this was the only loose powder in my collection, I would personally be fine with that. I love this so much, and I'm so happy to have discovered this. So this absolutely was worth it in my opinion. And then I also do feel like this was worth the purchase as well. This is the Check My Glow Multi-Dimension Illuminating Highlighter in Platinum Cowgirl. If I didn't say, this is the Give Beauty highlight. This I love because it is definitely a more subtle highlight. It's not gonna be like today's highlight. Like today we're beaming. And I am definitely someone who prefers more of a subtle highlight. I will say I've been having fun with kind of a flashier highlight on like the weekends or when I'm filming, but in my day-to-day when I'm going into the office, I do prefer something a little bit more subtle and natural. I do still like to highlight, but I like something a little bit more subtle. And this is something, especially last year, right when I purchased it, I was reaching for this all of the time. I brought this with me to Las Vegas in December. I brought this to Las Vegas with me when I was there in April. This has traveled with me every time that I've traveled on an airplane since I purchased this. And I feel like if I bring something traveling with me, I like it because I'm only traveling with makeup that like I feel comfortable using literally every day, and I know it's never gonna steer me wrong. So I do think this one was worth the purchase as well. And then I also think my Sephora favorite set was worth the purchase. So everything that I did not make a bad decision, it doesn't feel, last July, at least in terms of my makeup purchases. My like real life encounters and decisions last July, I don't know. I don't remember. I wouldn't put it past myself that I made a couple of bad choices. Let's chat through everything that was in the Sephora favorite set. We did have a little Rare Beauty face mist. I finished that off. It wasn't my favorite mist of all time. I'm not gonna go out and repurchase that, but it was fine to, you know, have a face mist. I also got the Patrick Ta Major Plumping Lip Gloss in that favorite set, and I did declutter that because that was painful and not worth it to me. I did not want that. And then also I recently decluttered the ABH Brow Freeze from that favorite set. That's not the type of product that I personally am reaching for or using, so I decluttered that. But still, the products inside I found to be worth it based on the remaining products. So the other products that were in there, in my declutter, I told you guys I was going to declutter the Lawless blush. This is in the shade Indian Summer, but then I was like, I'm literally just decluttering this one specifically just to declutter, and took it back. As I was editing, I was like, you love the Lawless blush formula, like why are you decluttering that? And I went back and swatched it as I was editing, and I was like, okay, that is actually so pretty, and really unlike many of the other shades of blush in my collection. I don't have a lot of like berry tone blushes, and what I love about the Lawless blush formula is that it is more of like a satin. It's not a totally matte blush, and I just feel like it offers this really healthy juiciness to the cheeks. That grammatically didn't make sense at all. I just think it's so pretty. So you got a full-size Lawless blush in that, which again, I already knew I loved the Lawless blush formula. Forgive me for thinking that I wanted to declutter this. I actually don't. And I'm very happy to have that in my collection. There was also a sample size of the Glow Recipe Watermelon Niacinamide Dewdrops. I've already finished those off. I set this out just to kind of remind myself. I like these. They're not my favorite. My sister was decluttering these and gave them to me, and it's just sat with my skincare for a bit. I need to like actually pull this out and get use out of them. They're fine. It wasn't that like really sold it for me. It was this blush. Also the Ilia Limitless mascara is my favorite mascara of all time, and we did get a little deluxe size sample of that. I haven't opened this one yet, but I love that mascara, so for me it was worth it with the mascara. Also the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in the shade, or in the scent, Vanilla Beige. I actually have this on my lips today over the Persona liquid lipstick in, is it OG that's the nude, or is it Holy Grail? I think it's OG. This I love. I actually have a little mini of this as well in my car, and I'm definitely interested in picking up more shades. I just have so many other lip treatments and lip balms and lip glosses at this moment that I don't want to instantly go purchase, but if they come out with another holiday set with a bunch of minis, I will definitely be purchasing this. So honestly, these two products alone kind of made it worth it to me, although I'm trying to like add up like monetarily. But the last product that was in there, and I was so excited about this because I owned this like long ago and then mine went bad, and so I was very excited to get this back in my collection because I loved this product when I did own it. And last summer and even now, I'm definitely more into cream bronzer than I even was when I owned this and really liked it back in the day. So this is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in the shade Baked. So, and this is technically a full size. Do you remember the large ones? I owned the large ones when that was like $24 for that large bronzer. Now it's $24 for this. But anyway, so these three products alone, or these four products alone, in my opinion, really did make that set worth it. Plus just to get to try some products. Like, it's always fun to try products. So I personally like purchasing this for favorite sets if there are products that I am interested in. And I, at that time, was very, very interested in trying the Summer Fridays. Knew I loved the Lawless, and also was very excited to have this back in my life. So Woo, overall, you guys, I actually killed it last July. I actually like knocked it out of the park. Pat on the back. Ooh, it's raining now. It's looking a little green out there. Like the weather's matching my eyeshadow. We might have a twister coming through tonight. We'll see. Anyway, I hope not. Those are my thoughts. Are they really my thoughts? Do I even have thoughts today? Yeah, I crushed it last July. Everything that I purchased, in my opinion, was worth it. In my opinion, was a good makeup decision. Did I need any of this makeup? Absolutely not. But I am very happy with all the purchases that I made last July. So I would love to know in the comments below, do you track your purchases and what did you purchase last July? Did you make good decisions? Did you make bad decisions? There's no judgment from me here, but let me know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video, for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.